Now, I censored the name of the individual because I don't want you guys to contact the people we're criticizing on the internet. And secondly, it's not just this individual. When I will describe to you this person, you will close your eyes and you will see this person on every forum that you go. From the progressive bubble, they emerge. From the bowels of academia, they rise. And what they do is they speak with jargon, they speak in tongues in a way that they twist the English language. They say things like a Trojan horse, something that sounds right just so you can open the gates to your hobby, allow them in, and then the soy soldiers emerge from that Trojan horse and they take away your city. They burn away the things that you love until there is nothing but ash, and then they laugh. These are the people that come into your community and they take and take and take, and they give nothing back besides sorrow and misery. They promise that they will deliver women, but they do not. What they do is they ruin intellectual properties. They change what was once beautiful and artistic into a slush of progressive Californian goo that no one enjoys. So what is this person saying? They're talking about Gundam. It's not something that I like, but I do understand that some people enjoy Gundams. And from what I understand, there's a new female character that's coming up in the Gundam series. I know in 2022, that's mind-blowing. Alright, like seeing a woman on the screen. I have never seen something like that. But apparently, Gundam is leading the charge. History books are going to be written that there is now a female superhero in Gundam. I mean, that is so astonishing. You know, I watch anime all the time. I never seen women. But this is like just mind-blowing. And apparently there are criticisms regarding it. Like, I'm pretty sure people who like anime are going to criticize the concept of a woman. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I am sure that there is. So this person is like mecha dude bros. I've never used the word dude bro in real life, but like, again, they have the jargon. They live in the progressive bubble. They are surrounded by this type of language, which seems bizarre to the average person. Why are no girls into Gundam mecha? There are. There's a lot of who are actually girls and women have loved mecha since its early days. They just aren't in the spaces you're in because you've made the water so toxic and hostile for them. In other words, this person is talking about inclusion, right? So inclusion means that everyone should be able to enjoy the hobby. In other words, every single person on planet Earth, your mother, your grandmother, your great-great-grandmother, your dog, your puppy, everyone loves Gundams. But the only reason they're not in your hobby is because you're toxic. So what we need to do is to start a purge, to persecute people, to kick them out of the hobby so we can be more inclusive. Does that make any sense from a logical perspective? Of course not. Right? Like, their idea of inclusion is actually exclusion. You know, when Orwell wrote the idea that war is peace, freedom is slavery. When I read the book the first time, I thought it's a joke. But this is reality. This is how progressives use the English language. They literally mean the opposite of what they say. This is why when they talk, it's like a Trojan horse. Because who doesn't want the hobby to be more inclusive? Everyone wants it, right? So it's just like, okay, let's listen to them. Let's put them in charge. And when you put them in charge, they start persecuting people. They start attacking the fans. They start going after the people who enjoy purchasing the merchandise. And then they make changes to the merchandise because they will say, look, like, women don't like this. We need to change it to attract more women. And what ends up happening is that the change doesn't attract more women. But at the same time, it also alienates the core fandom, the people who are purchasing stuff so that the people who created the IP can have food on their table. A perfect example is female Ghostbusters. So Ghostbusters is a very popular franchise, which a lot of people loved, and if you ask people what do they want, they definitely want nothing. Just leave it the way it is. It was good when it happened, leave it like that. But if you insist, if you must insist for some reason, to milk us of money, big corporation, why don't you give us more of the same? I mean, the actors are getting quite old. Some of them might pass away soon out of old age. So give us more of that. But no, you have the people who want to make Ghostbusters more inclusive, right? To attract a wider audience. And when they come in, they're like, no, well, we're going to cast women instead of the Ghostbusters. For no reason whatsoever. Absolutely no reason. It doesn't benefit the plot. But this is what they claim is going to attract more women to the franchise. Because women will not see a movie unless there's a woman in it. I don't know. It's like telling this to a man. Hey, you know, like, unless there's a man in a movie, people aren't going to go see it. It makes sense, right? It's completely logical. Now, if you disagree, you're a bigot. You're a misogynist. And you need to be gatekept out of the fandom. Like, everyone needs to gang up on you on forums and tell you to go away if you disagree with this piece of wisdom. So now the entire fandom is being torn apart. Now you have the good fans versus the bad fans. Now you have like this inner struggle. And people are talking about Trump and Hillary Clinton on the forums. Of Ghostbusters, by the way, which is supposed to be entertaining. I don't know what Trump has to do there or Hillary Clinton. But they're there now because everything is political, right? I mean, we should have the next presidential debates on the fucking Ghostbusters forum. And then the movie finally comes out. And guess what? Women don't watch it either. And the original fan base aren't there as well. No one watches it. It's a commercial disaster. And are the people who suggested for inclusivity going to be held accountable for ruining a franchise? No! They move on to the next franchise. And this is why you need to gatekeep these people. What does that mean? Exactly what they do to you, you need to do to them. The exact same behavior they behave when they see a quote-unquote misogynist is the exact same behavior that you need to show to them. Gatekeep these people from the things you like, because they're going to destroy them. The things you like exist because there are people who are willing to pay money for those things to exist. The moment the people leave, there is no more money going in, and the company goes out of a business. And the things you like stop existing. And the people who ruin them, they just move to the next thing. They're not even fans. Like, listen when they talk. 90% of the stuff they talk about are politics, and only 10% happens to be about that particular hobby. When you see a person like that, that is a person that's into disrupting. They are disrupting the space. They're not interested in partaking into the space. They're only interested in disrupting it. Do not associate with these people. Turn your backs to them. Gatekeep. I mean, look at this, you know, like the concept. The very concept, like the statement that women love mecha since the early days. How many? What's the percentage? What study do you have to show this? It's like, oh, they just don't play in the spaces you are. Can you prove this? This isn't even a hypothesis. Like, a hypothesis would mean that you observe something and then you have like an experiment to try and prove it. But it's not even a hypothesis. It's a conspiracy theory is what it is. Like, he thinks that women are conspiring to hide their love and affectionado for mecha Gundams away from men. Because men are too toxic. You know, like, women can marry men. Women can hang around with men, but they just refuse to share their mecha hobby with the men. That is like the most bizarre statement that I have ever seen. And this is the type of logic that they go with. And maybe it worked in 2016, but people are catching on to the bullshit. If someone legitimately loves something, you don't care how toxic people are. Like, if I love League of Legends, when I started League of Legends, I was met with only toxicity, vile, and there were even women that were flaming me because I was a bad player. And I couldn't play properly, so everyone was flaming me, right? But because I liked the game, I kept at it, and I managed to get through it. Everything in life that is worth doing is going to be met with the criticism from other people. There's going to be people that tell you that you can't do it. There's going to be people saying that you should uninstall the game or that you should quit at every point of the way. But what separates the weak from the people that actually have merit is that the people with merit are able to shut that noise and they're able to climb to the top. And if you want to empower people, you don't empower people with children toys. You empower people by sending them this message that you should not listen to detractors. You shouldn't listen to people that tell you can't do it. You shouldn't listen to people that try to make you weak, pathetic, small, so that they can control you. You need to tell them to fuck off. You got what it takes. You're going to try and actually achieve something. Can't believe that I'm giving you moral advice, strong sage advice on this channel. But like, I want you to think of this. Your mother, right? Like, your mother, does she play with toys when you're not there? Does your mother play with Gundams when you're not there? You know, like, when you went into your mother's room and looked into her wardrobe, did you find a Gundam toy that she secretly kept? Like, there are certain hobbies that are definitely not for everyone. I, for example, don't like Gundams. There is absolutely nothing you can do to Gundams that will convince me that I should like them. At the same time, I'm not telling other people not to play with Gundams. Go play with your toys. I mean, it's fine, you know? Like, there are things that I like that you don't. So it's perfectly fair. And finally, imagine the opposite, right? Like, what is something that women like and guys hate? 50 Shades of Grey, Twilight. You know, these are things that are literally not made for guys. It appeals to women. There are some guys who like it, by the way. But imagine the same argument. Like, the only reason men aren't watching 50 Shades of Grey is because women are toxic. So women need to change their behavior. And then you go to 50 Shades of Grey and you're like, let's add some busty cat girls. Let's have some busty cat girls that do some scissoring in the beginning because that's going to attract men. Now, if you do that, you're probably not going to attract men. And you're also going to alienate the women who are already interested into the franchise. So all you're doing is you're destroying the franchise if you do that. But anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. And I agree with YellowFlash, you need to gatekeep these activists because they are activists, okay? Like, they are not people who enjoy the hobby. And if they do, it's only tangential. Like, it just happens that they enjoy the hobby. But in reality, they're more interested in pushing for social change and pushing for their socialist ideology, which this person is, surprise fucking surprise, a socialist. Why is it every time it's a socialist? Every single goddamn time. Did you notice that? Every single time. What? Like, if this was something universal, what are the right-wingers doing it? Where are the anarcho-capitalists doing it? Where are the religious people doing it? Where are the Muslims doing it? No, it's almost every single time, without exception, socialists and American socialists in that. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.